world-ending asteroids, zombies, and ruinous famine are on deck for 2021, according to French philosopher Michel de Nostradamus, whose track record for predicting the future has been freakishly accurate. Nostradamus, who died in 1566, has prophesied world-altering events through his lay prophecies, a collection of poetic quatrains. The Renaissance era alluded to such events as the French Revolution, the development of the atomic bomb and the September 11th terrorist attacks. Now we have arrived at his 2021 predictions, which, if he is to be taken to heart, means 2020 was a walk in the park. While the forecasts of Nostradamus are very vague, astrologers reading his work believe 2021 was of particular significance to the French prophet. According to astrologers, the coronavirus pandemic marks the beginning of a series of misfortunes for humanity, which was outlined by Nostradamus, including widespread famine. The most ominous of these predictions is said to describe a zombie apocalypse. Yes, that's what I said, a freaking zombie apocalypse. According to Yearly Horoscope, 2021 could mark the rise of the living dead. The website said that, after analyzing texts from French forecasters, next year could see a zombie apocalypse, with a virus unleashed by a scientist. Nostradamus wrote, "Few young people, half dead to give a start. Dead through spite, he will cause the others to shine, and in an exalted place some great evils to occur, sad concepts will come to harm each one, temporal dignified, the mass to succeed. Fathers and mothers dead of infinite sorrows, women in mourning, the pestilent she-monster, the great one to be no more, all the world to end." Okay, so that could mean a variety of things, but the way 2020 progressed from shitty to outright apocalyptic, I wouldn't be surprised if this dude's omens are spot on, if not worse. Several of Nostradamus' claims have come true, such as his prediction of the Great Fire of London in 1666. Nostradamus wrote 100 years before the Great Fire, "The blood of the just will commit a fault at London, burnt through lightning of 23's the 6th, the ancient lady will fall from her high place, several of the same sect will be killed." Although several claims Nostradamus has made have come to fruition, many of his prophecies have been very vague. Nostradamus's predictions tended to be about general types of events, like natural disasters and conflict-related events that tend to occur regularly as time goes on. Some people believe that his prophecies have predicted actual events, such as the death of Henry II, the 30th of June 1559. Nostradamus correctly predicted the death of the French King Henry II in a jousting tournament. He accurately predicted that a rival's lance will go through the king's helmet and stab him in the eye, and that the king will die in terrible pain. He namely predicted the death of the French king with these words, "The young lion shall overcome the older one. On the field of combat in single battle, and he shall pierce his eyes in a golden cage, two forces one, then he shall die a cruel death." Indeed, on that day, King Henry II participated in a tournament in Paris. He rode with an armor and a lance against a young courtier Gabriel, Comte de Montgomery. The young man's lance stabbed the king in his eye through the helmet, pierced his eyes in a golden cage, and the king died 10 days later suffering terrible pain, precisely according to the prophecy. Nostradamus has been credited with quite a few 20th century predictions, and the rise of Adolf Hitler is often cited as one of them. And, to be fair, his writings do provoke a slight chill of recognition. From the depths of the west of Europe, Nostradamus wrote, "A young child will be born of poor people. And what does this child do? He will by his tongue seduce a great troop, and his fame will spread far beyond Europe." Another quatrain of possible significance mentions fighting close by the Hester, which is either a loose reference to Hitler, or a more mundane mention of the old name of the Danube River. Depending on your point of view. The killing of President John F. Kennedy was one of the pivotal moments of the 20th century, so it's not surprising that many have scoured the works of Nostradamus for any hint of a prophecy. A commonly quoted contender is the bit that reads, "From on high, evil will fall on the great man," perhaps a reference to the fact he was shot from a distance by a sniper, or snipers. Tellingly, the quatrain continues with, "And dead innocent will be accused of the deed. Is this Lee Harvey Oswald, the suspected assassin who was himself shot dead soon after, and has long been regarded as an innocent fall guy? As if that wasn't enough to convince us, Nostradamus assures us that the true guilty party will remain in the mist, a sentiment which countless JFK conspiracy theorists will surely agree with.
Assailant moves in from the right.
He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot.
Others maintain that because his prophecies tend to be about general types of events that occur frequently throughout history, and are written in a cryptic and vague manner, it's possible to find one that seems to match almost any event that has occurred. Nonetheless, 2020 was the type of year that would bring even the most optimistic of us to our knees. He's been close, if not spot on before. So what can we do? My opinion? Nothing. There's nothing you can do, but have faith. Be strong. Love life and every person in your life. Love them each moment, like it's the last moment you'll ever have with them. Nostradamus obviously either had a blessed gift from God, or he was a master at studying history and figured out a science to predict what events have to repeat themselves. We may have to get on some Walking Dead shit. We may have to stand in massive food lanes in order to feed our families. And we may just have moments left to say goodbye to the closest person standing next to us because a massive space mountain is about to smash into our beautiful planet. Or, we may live long enough to be great-grandparents. We may fulfill our dreams. And 2021 may be the start of a long, beautiful life. Let's hope for the latter, shall we?
The coming year could be a lot more inward-looking and spiritually oriented than ever before for this generation of people. Because this generation of people, we as a generation of people, all of us included, in many ways, we have been living more wantonly than anybody else. We have more comforts, more conveniences, more technology, more possibilities, but we are not using that to make our lives fantastic. We are using that to make our lives quite neurotic, many of them psychotic. When we're talking about a mental pandemic, what is it? We were just on the edge and now we're falling off. So, the wisdom of life is, whatever life throws at you, you can make something wonderful out of that also. This is where your intelligence matters.